recording. That's the streaming. That's the tweet. Didn't hashtag it, but I guess we're live. And my camera is not on. There's always something.
Oh, it's a good way to
There we
start
go.
the stream.
Yeah. Boom. Like, what am I supposed to say? Like, it's ya boy. That kind of thing. I think that's what I'm supposed to do. Maybe that's played out now. Maybe I'm old. All right. We can wait until at least one friendly face filters in. All right. I see friendly faces. And if you're joining us, feel free to say something in the chat. I haven't shared the chat with Alex, so I'll just have to throw things at him as you chat at me.
Throw him.
Yeah.
Tweet. All right, so I tweeted out the YouTube live stream.
Yeah, I'll throw it at some folks as well. Ah, that's a channel where I can toss them, see if they like it. It's always like, if you want some people to join live, you really have to tell them. Yeah, so...
Yeah, so it says 4 watching now. I'm guessing 2 of those are me and you.
That's possible. Yeah, you might be watching the stream.
Yeah, I'm gonna close it though because the MacBook Air is gonna light on fire.
It's gonna catch fire.
Yeah.
Hey David. All right, so as has been tweeted out and generally preordained, you should have been told. We're going to be looking at one of my projects, Noted. If you follow my newsletter, you've heard about it, or at least you've had a chance to hear about it. And we're going to be adding some observability and general stats to the thing. So the easiest way to get stats, I think, in Elixir is probably live dashboard, but that doesn't really give you any history or anything.
Yeah, I think there are some efforts on that front to get
I saw
long-term storage in place.
Someone was looking at just giving some history by adding a ring buffer or a circular buffer, which I think is a neat way of doing it. Because hey Todd, hey Marco, hey Need Sleep, lots of people joining. Nice.
Oh, nice.
And thanks for saying hi. That it actually helps. It's nice to know people are watching. Yeah, like adding a ring buffer for just keeping some of that stuff in memory to just provide some history, I think is a very neat approach, because that means you won't be writing an infinite log file or anything.
Yeah. No, it's live dashboard is definitely super awesome. I've used it in production for like very, very quick like log tailing, just because it's a lot easier than going to say Kibana or something.
Hey Lassie.
Like if I'm able to repro the issue in prod, I'll open up live dashboard, start tailing the logs, and then do the issue, and then I know exactly where my logs are, and I can look at the stack traces.
Yeah. But what we're looking to do now is to use the library, which Alex has been sweating over for a while now.
Yeah, I think it's almost been a year. I'm trying to think when commit number 1 was. It might have been like July or August. So
if I'm not mistaken,
just about a year.
Like Grafana was a fork of Kibana, which was the stat UI thing for Elasticsearch, right?
Was it a fork? I thought it was always its own project.
I might be mistaken there, but they're both in the sort of cloud native family, as far as I understand it.
Yeah, I think they're both in the
part
CNCF.
of the very Kubernetes type of space. So I am probably the least Kubernetes enthusiastic person you can find right now. I'm very, very hesitant to go in that direction. But I will say a lot of the tooling that's being built in that space seems great. and a lot of the sort of values enshrined in how they build those tools also seems great. It's a lot of Go, a lot of like, here's your static binary that you can ship. So there's a lot of good stuff being built that isn't necessarily something you only can use with Kubernetes.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like a lot of the tooling can be used outside of Kubernetes, but if you do use it inside of Kubernetes, there's a whole bunch of like niceties that you get out of the box that
Yeah.
like
And there's some
automatically
stuff.
do service discovery using the Kubernetes
Yeah.
API, find all your instances of your services, automatically start, scraping them, collecting metrics, stuff like that.
Hey Joel. Man, Alex, you have quite the following. I would have expected our following to be very overlapping. It might be the topic actually that's drawing the people, or we've just been promoting well. But
Yeah, maybe all of the above.
we definitely peaked my previous concurrent record. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. All right. So this is a fairly standard Phoenix app. I think it's pedal stack, so Phoenix, Elixir, Tailwind, Alpine, Live View. And then it integrates with Telegram, and it does use maybe a little bit of an uncommon database in that it's using SQLite via SQLite.
Which was a really good test because I did dry run this last night, and I was expecting Postgres, and then the PromEx dashboard still worked, and I was like, oh,
yeah, because it's talking to Ecto when Ecto is a full
exactly, yeah. So I was pleasantly surprised. Good demo.
Yeah. Hey Kyle. So Kyle Steger is saying howdy Alex, so I'll pass that along.
Hey Kyle.
All right, where do we start? I want to Prometheus all the Grafanas. What do I do?
All right. Well, first I need your.
You need my
your
live
VS
share
code.
link. Oh yes. I prepped so many things, and I still hadn't prepped all the things. That's the curse of.
So I'm gonna apologize beforehand to everyone because I use Vim, and I feel totally weird in VS Code. So if I do like :QA or :Ws everywhere, that's it's muscle memory. I apologize.
Yeah. Yeah, I use Vim bindings in Visual Studio Code because there's nothing quite so fast for just editing a single line of text or yanking and pasting. But I really like some of the conveniences from the editor. So, did you get the link? I sent it on Telegram.
I did, but then it said that it's not active. Oh no, it's starting up another VS Code instance.
More VS Code instances. Your MacBook should burn.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
She can't take no more.
So who made the logo is the question. I think you said
something. So I think it's down in the README. Who was it? I'm terrible with remembering names. But there's a free icon on
the logo for
Undraw.
the project. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. But I took that free icon and made a bunch of changes to it. But still nice to give credit to the inspiration. But yeah, I did put quite a bit of work into the README to make it as nice and approachable as possible.
Yeah, you have badges with things on
Styled.
them as well.
Those are styled badges too.
Style badges.
Yeah, you know how hard it was to figure that out.
I've never looked at it.
And then the other interesting part is GitHub will render READMEs slightly differently than say like hex PM.
Yeah.
So if you look at my the raw version of the readme.md file.
Are you saying it actually has has special casing for?
It does. So I have two comments in the markdown file. You'll see start and end, and then that marks a point in the file. And then if you look at mix.exs, when right before the docs get published, There's that copy files function
Yeah.
that runs some like last mile like adjustments on that README, and we'll swap it out with something that hex PM will render properly. So, so I,
You absolute dork. I like it.
I had to do it.
Uh,
It was so
Over-engineered the
annoying.
README. So
I know, I know. Like it looked so great on on GitHub,
you
and
have
then
0.1% Smarty in your project. That's weird.
yeah, I have no idea what that is.
All right, let's get started.
All right, let's do it. All right, so I'm still loading the file tree here. Oh, there we go.
Also, let me know if there's anything with the audio and stuff. I'm happy to adjust. Sometimes it's hard for us to know if there's any issues, but it seems like it should be working.
Cool.
All right, you can have rewrite access.
There we go. So I can do clear. Sweet. All right. So
I have to keep an eye on you.
all right. So you can see me opening up mix.exs, right?
Not presently, but I can. I'm also not following you right now, so I can do that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know how you want to do that.
Yeah. Now I'm following.
Okay. Cool. So the first thing we're gonna do to get all this going is we're gonna install PromEx.
Seems like a reasonable start.
Yeah. Nothing too crazy yet.
Ooh, fully specified down to the 1.
Whoa.
And then everything turns red because this always happens to me in mix.exs. I don't know why. It just goes, oh, everything's an error. Okay, nice. Yep,
cool.
Well, fetched.
All right. Looks like it's still erroring for me.
Yeah, the error will remain. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
It's an Elixir LS thing. I've never figured out why that's the case, but it is.
Gotcha. All right, so can we run the app just to sanity check that we didn't do anything beforehand. We're not trying to pull any fast ones. We have no metrics at our /metrics endpoint.
Yeah, so I have some CA errors that we will be seeing just because of partial update to Erlang 24, let's say.
All right, so we'll go to localhost 4000 /metrics, and it should say no route for /metrics, right?
Yeah.
And I'm guessing you're screen sharing so people can see that.
Yep.
Cool. All right, and then
no route at all.
We can kill the server. And then I wrote a nice mix task. So you can run mix promex.gen.config and /-d for Prometheus. And the -d stands for data source. And just as a quick kind of aside, in Grafana, when you have your panels, you need to tell those panels where are you going to fetch data from. And in this case, it's Prometheus, but you can call this anything. You can call it prom, capital P Prometheus, whatever. It's just however you configure this data source in Grafana, which we'll come to towards the end of the live stream here, is what you want to name this. And so if we run this mix task, there we go. So we should have some instructions for us.
So we wrote out this, and we should read the module doc.
We should, yes, because personally, I forget what I do, so I did this for myself as much as for everyone else. Yeah. So we're gonna open up dev.exs. How do I open up JSON files? Open to the side. I'm telling you, I feel totally
How do I use an editor?
All right, so I'll paste that in. And I templatized all this for convenience, so everything has the appropriate OTP app and module names and all that happy stuff.
That's nice and neat.
Right, that's what I thought. All right, next thing to do. So that one's done. Application.ex, and we're going to add this to our supervision tree. And I would highly recommend you put this as the first item in your supervision tree, because if you put it, like, let's say after the repo supervisor, you're going to have issues because you're going to miss a whole bunch of telemetry events. So PromEx should occupy the first point in your supervision tree, which is a big honor. If you know, if I feel honored if you put PromEx as the first item in your supervision tree. And the last thing we got to do is open up web, then endpoint.ex, and then we just got to stick this line somewhere before some telemetry calls. So I usually stick it right after static.
So is this is just to provide the metrics endpoint, is it?
Exactly. Yeah. So the way super high level.
This would also work with just plug, even if you're not using Phoenix, I guess.
So I do provide like a standalone HTTP server as well. So like, let's say your Elixir app is like a queue worker, and there's no reason for Phoenix there. There are other instructions in the docs where you can set up like a totally standalone HTTP server, so you don't need to pull down Phoenix or anything like that. I think it's just kind of like what you said. It's just plug Cowboy.
Okay, sweet.
But yeah, at a high level, the way Prometheus works is it needs to reach out to all of its configured sources and capture metrics. Versus say like something that's statsd based, which you push metrics to your monitoring solution. So that's why we need this HTTP endpoint available, so we can capture some metrics.
And then so then I'm curious, how do you queue up your metrics locally?
So there's not necessarily a queue. So it like every time you hit this endpoint, it's a snapshot in time of what the metrics are. So if Prometheus is misconfigured or you're missing like scrapes, you're not getting any metrics, you're not queuing anything up. The next time that you do get a scrape, you'll just have another like time entry in Prometheus with what the metrics were at that time. So there's a trade-off there, where Prometheus can store all this time series data ridiculously efficiently, because you're kind of compounding it over discrete time intervals, right? You're compounding 1,000 HTTP requests over 5 seconds, and then in Prometheus, all it has to store is 2 things, right? It stores the previous 5 seconds and the current snapshot. And even though you got 5,000 requests in that time, it just knows 5 seconds prior and 5 seconds now. Versus like other solutions, you're going to send it 5,000 sets of metrics.
Yeah.
And it has to kind of make sense of that. So that's why you can collect metrics on your entire infrastructure, all of your apps, on like one Prometheus instance before you need to think about scaling.
Looking at this module doc now, are we ready?
Yes, but first we're gonna uncomment some things here. So we're gonna get some plugins enabled. You have Ecto. You're not running Open. All right. All my commas look good. And so this is how.
Yeah, that's a classic one. Like, I'm uncommenting things in a list, and I've screwed up a comma. Yeah.
Right. So this is how PromEx works fundamentally. You pass it some plugins, and you can write your own plugins, or you can use the first-party ones that I've written. And PromEx will know what telemetry events to attach to and what metrics to collect. And so after we've uncommented all these, you effectively have like my opinions for how you should collect metrics on Phoenix Live View, on Ecto, and this and that. And if you don't, maybe the dashboards and the metrics that I collect aren't really applicable to your app. You could always fork the dashboards and kind of tailor them to your needs. But that's kind of all you need to do. And the same thing applies for the dashboards you write. So you can add your dashboards here, not running Open, and we're double editing.
Yeah,
we double deleted.
No,
all
I
right.
don't think we did. Oh, I undid everything. That's nice of me.
I'll let you do it. You can have the.
I can have the reins.
You can have the mutex lock.
We need a beam comma, and we don't need Open. There we go.
Cool.
Cool.
All right.
Should we start a server again?
Yeah, start it up again.
And I should be able to refresh this. And dear Lord, that's a lot of lines.
No errors
Help
though, right?
noted from the number of schedulers that are online.
Oh, you're looking at the metrics. I thought you were looking
Yeah.
at the console. Oh, okay. Whew, I thought there were errors.
No, it's all good.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to make some more metrics by going to your index page.
So by looking at these, am I consuming metrics?
No. So this is that snapshot in time.
Yeah.
So if you're
Oh,
like
right. So if someone hit it at the same time, they would see the same thing, essentially.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. And then it's just like rolling aggregates. So like on the or in your beam process, you're not like accumulating memory here for no reason because nothing is scraping it. So everything is just kind of like an accumulator. So I mean, obviously you're taking up space for all of these like integers and entries and labels and tags and all that. But it's not as if nothing comes to scrape this, your application is going to crash because it's eating tons and tons of memory.
All right, so we have a metrics endpoint. That's neat.
Cool. So that's all you have to do to get PromEx set up in your app. The rest is all kind of like operations work now. So we're going to go to the root. Going to go to the root of our project here, and we're going to make a Docker compose file. So Docker compose.yaml.
Yeah, love those.
Cool. You love some Docker compose?
Love me some YAML.
Sorry, so we're going to list some services here.
Yep.
So we're going to have Grafana, and we're going to have Prometheus, if I can tab properly.
Oh, so it's Grafana with an F. Then I might have pinged the wrong ad on Twitter. That would explain why it didn't show them. Sweet.
Oh well, I'm sure it's not the first time it's happened.
No, probably not.
So we're gonna pull the official Grafana image.
Yeah.
And as of last night, 757 was the latest image. And then we're gonna do a very big no-no here. Our network mode is gonna be host. So usually, in Dockerized applications, you want to keep things kind of isolated and away from the host. That's one of the benefits. But since we're running the Elixir app natively on the host, and we want Prometheus to scrape it, the easiest way is just to get all of this running on network mode host, so that Prometheus can actually scrape your application. So don't do this in production, kind of thing.
Don't do what I do.
Yeah. Do as I say, not as I do.
Do it correctly, not the way I'm doing it.
Exactly. All right.
Sorry,
So
my browser dropped out. I'll refresh that one, and it should pick back up. So you can see this beautiful list of metrics. There we go.
And so then we're going to say that Grafana depends on Prometheus. So then that way our data source can be actually hit when the thing starts. And then what we're going to do is Grafana data, and that is a named volume that we'll list further down. And this is kind of where Grafana will store all of its dashboards, any kind of configuration, stuff like that. So volumes down here. And then Grafana data. And then we're also going to have a Prometheus data. That's another named volume, which we'll define soon. And then for some configuration, we're going to have an end file.
And you're doing this entirely by memory, I'm sure.
Yeah. Don't look at the live stream where I'm looking at the other screen where I have it all typed out. This is all through memory.
Yeah. Like pure memorized skill. That's an important thing to know about being a software developer, and especially in ops, that you have to remember every command, every piece of ASCII you ever enter. You know exactly what all of it does.
Exactly. That's how you know you've hit principal engineer.
How you know you're wasting your goddamn time.
Yeah. No, it's yeah. If I didn't do this from from a reference and kind of talk through it as I did it, this would be a disaster of debugging. So
Oh, I'm thankful that you've prepped, if that's the
I'm
case.
I'm willing to admit when I need a crutch here.
So the first volume you set up looks different.
This guy right here.
Yeah. So you.
So
made
this
one
one's a
of them.
named vol. Oh, so you're talking about like before the colon here.
Yeah, so that's Grafana data, and the second one, isn't that supposed to be Prometheus data? No.
So will be. So there are two mounts here.
All right.
So the first one's a file mount. So I'm going to tell Docker here that, hey, this container needs this file mounted to, and I'm about to put in the path here. So,
yeah.
So this file, I think I messed it up. So this directory needs to be mounted to this directory from the host. Now, data. Now I'm going to do kind of the same thing, and I'm going to say this named volume should be available at /Prometheus. Cool. So we have our volumes, and then command is going to tell Prometheus how to start.
Because it doesn't know.
It has no idea. This probably would have been better to just copy and paste it, but I'll do it from memory, and I'm sure we'll find some typos that I made. Config file equals /etc /Prometheus.
And if any of you have any questions that I can bother Alex with while he's typing, feel free to post them in the YouTube chat. I think that would be helpful. No, but questions are very welcome along the way.
I'm definitely gonna misspell Prometheus at some point. It's gonna be like a UES.
Prometheus, yeah.
So that's your job. We're pair programming now. You can catch all my typos.
Yeah. Well, I think that's one more space than libraries needs.
See.
And I think you want a slash after share.
I do. See, I'm glad you got my back here. Web console templates.
I don't think that's an off-topic question. If I have 3 app servers arranged in a failover via Cloudflare load balancer, would it be useful to have just one Prometheus machine? So Cloudflare specifics aside, I think if you have 3 app servers and a load balancer, I don't know if failover is very relevant specifically, but
what was the question? I missed it.
I think essentially a boiled down version of the question is if you have a bunch of app servers, would you run a single Prometheus machine, or do you feel like you would need a ton of them?
No, you only need one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so efficient at storing all this time series data because of that trade-off, where you lose the fidelity of at this millisecond this event came in versus you're aggregating over your discrete time interval, however you configure that. I mean, you can monitor all of your applications in addition to like all the instances of your applications with probably just one Prometheus instance.
Yeah.
So
that's what Kyle Steger is saying as well, and that's what I would expect.
Good question, Kyle. And then, as we'll see in Grafana here shortly, in the
dashboard. The question was from David. Kyle provided additional answer. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Poor Alex can't see the chat.
Yeah, I'm in VS Code, but yeah, and then you'll see in Grafana shortly. You can actually select what instance you want to capture the metrics of, so you can still get all the Phoenix and all the Ecto and all of the live view metrics for each instance on the same dashboard. So we'll see that shortly. All right, so I think.
So this is a Docker Compose you like?
I think that's good. I don't see any typos. So the last thing we're gonna do is we have a couple of directories and stuff that we reference here.
Yeah.
So we're gonna create a new folder here called Docker. And then inside of Docker, we're gonna make two other directories. One called Grafana. Oop.
I just opened another terminal. I hope I didn't mess you up.
It did mess me up. New folder. Let's try this again. Grafana. New folder. All right, so then in the Grafana directory, we're going to put that .env file. So new file, .env. All right, this one's going to be super short. The only thing we need here are a couple of
I'm not seeing
environment
what you're
variables.
doing. Where are you doing this? Are you doing this on your local machine?
I don't think so.
Where did you put things?
There should be a... So there's a directory called Docker. You see
there
that one?
it is. Yeah.
Okay,
Grafana,
and then inside of there is
Prometheus.
Grafana, and then .env
Yeah.
is the file that I'm currently in.
Sweet. Yeah, I don't think LiveShare has realized that I could follow you into it, but that's fine. But it's empty right now, right?
What, the file?
The grafana.env file?
I just added some stuff to it.
Huh. That's promising. Save it, and we'll see.
Yeah, so I did save it. Is it not syncing?
Yeah, I think it's currently showing up as empty. That's promising. All right.
Did I disconnect? I could see the console here. I could see local servers. I could see that you're another participant.
Yeah,
so I think I'm still connected.
Yeah, I think it's just screwing around a little bit.
Okay. All right. So I added the .env file, and it's just two entries if you guys can't see it. But one of them just sets the default password. So maybe this is a good thing. We don't show anyone the password here. So one of them just sets the default password for the admin user, and the other setting just says.
Yeah.
So doesn't look like it's there
it's still empty on my local machine, so I don't think it has synced over. Do some edits and just hit save again. See if we get it.
Save.
Could be that it's a dot file. Yeah, I think it's because it's a dot file. Ugh. Do we have dot files in gitignore? We probably do, yes.
There you go. That's why .env is in there.
It's protecting you from me and stuff.
Oh no, it cleared out my file.
Yeah.
Should I start typing in there again?
You can try.
Okay. Do you want to delete that git ignore entry?
I did delete the...
Oh, you did? Okay. Yeah. All right, so let's do that again. All right, so gf...
Oh, there we go.
There we go. Whew. All right.
Kyle saying how many engineers. I think it's how many engineers does it take to create a file? In my defense, I'm no engineer. I think I can technically call myself one because it's not a protected title in Sweden, but I don't feel the need. Definitely.
All right, so
I'm not an engineer.
So this sets our default password for the admin user.
Yeah.
And this says that other people can't sign up. So that's
your recommended password for.
Yes, I would recommend everyone run admin as their password, and I also recommend everybody send me the IP address at which you're running your instance of it. Just because I don't want to do anything malicious. I just want to see your metrics. That's it.
He just wants a lot of cloud compute.
Yeah. I'll mine the whatever coin is hip.
Yeah, it seems reasonable. All right. Should we be able to start this thing now?
Not yet. We got to do
Prometheus as well.
Yeah, that one other config. So if you remember from the compose file, we had this guy right here.
Yep.
So this mounts that volume. Inside of that volume is a file called config.yaml. So let's see if we can knock this one out really quickly. So global, and this kind of just sets the, like it says, global configurations for Prometheus. So this is for all the targets that you're scraping, what are kind of like the default settings. So we'll say we have a scrape interval of 5 seconds. Valley. Well, 5 seconds. And then external labels. Your Elixir app. So these are just some default labels that Prometheus will attach to the data points for you. And then this is the interesting part. So we're telling Prometheus here what targets we want it to scrape. And given that we're just doing this in Docker Compose, we're kind of like statically setting what we want it to scrape. But in a production environment, you may not know where the target is. You may not know how many instances of the targets there are. So you're probably not going to leverage this same technique here. But luckily, Prometheus has a whole bunch of like integrations with a lot of service discovery tools, and so it can dynamically kind of figure this out at runtime. So you can hook it up with like console from like HashiCorp and figure out how many instances of the app are running, where those instances are. You can hook it up with a Kubernetes API. You can hook it up with like the AWS EC2 API. So for dynamic environments, you're probably not going to be doing this. But since we're running locally, we can do what we want. So job name. And the nice thing is Prometheus can actually scrape itself. So that's our first thing here that we're adding.
Okay. It doesn't sound good. It's gonna get stuck in a loop.
endless recursion. So
I was actually debugging an endless recursion today. It was not my fault. Mostly not my fault.
Sure.
I blame previous Elm developer. It's the Elm thing again. It's really, really bad when your JavaScript ends up in an infinite loop.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
The browser's gonna have a bad time.
Yeah. It's a very tight loop that generated a lot of memory use. After a while, Chrome killed it. At least didn't hard crash or anything. It was just very annoying to try to figure out.
For sure. All right, so I think that's all set up correctly. So this is the job we care about here. It's saying, hey, on localhost 4000, we have an app running. You can go scrape its metrics. And by default, Prometheus will hit /metrics.
Yeah.
You can give it another name. And if I knew exactly what the config was in this YAML file, I would tell it to everyone. But I think it's like it's another, as opposed to having a list of hosts here, I think you pass it an object, and then one of those is like endpoint or something like that. I can't remember. But that's it. So now if I typed everything correctly,
we should be able to do Docker Compose up.
That should be it. Yeah,
and then we'll find out if I have Docker Compose installed. Nah. Let's see, but I do believe
you do have Docker, right?
I do have Docker, so it's
okay.
a matter of installing Docker Compose. See, I'm a professional, not at live streaming, but I'm a professional at other things. We're almost done. And I believe I still need sudo for all my Docker stuff. The compose file, docker compose.yaml, is invalid because unsupported config option for volumes, Grafana data, and for services Prometheus.
What version of
I don't know that. Uh, 1.25, is that good, bad, appropriate?
I'm at 127.4.
This is where it gets fancy.
Yeah, maybe I should have copied and pasted it. All right, let's unsupported option for volumes.
Yeah.
That looks right.
Unsupported config option for services. So it's not that this should be dashed in
I
any
think
way.
that should be, yeah, that should be dashed. That's a list. There we go.
So like this.
Oh no, that's fine. This doesn't have to be dashed.
Okay.
The volumes was. I missed this one right here.
Okay. Yeah, I thought that was unsupported config option for volumes, Grafana data. Let's see. So what? It doesn't like the volumes. It doesn't like the services Prometheus right now. Wait, previously it didn't like Grafana and Prometheus data, so I think we literally swapped what it complained about. I hope this isn't a version mismatch sort of deal. And this doesn't need to have sort of leading triple dash or anything. That's, I know that's sometimes.
No, that should be good. Here, out of curiosity, let's delete one and see if it starts. Here.
Yeah.
So now it's complaining about the other one.
Unsupported config option for volumes, Grafana data, and unsupported config option for services. So I can imagine services failing if the volume isn't right.
Like if we
do we need to quote them because they have dashes? I don't know YAML that well.
I shouldn't have to. Here, out of curiosity, if we just delete those. Yeah, leave that entry in there though.
Now it's complaining about Prometheus and Prometheus data, but not about Grafana.
Can you update Docker Compose? I'm not sure how old 125 is.
Yeah, I don't know either. So I was hoping that my Docker Compose would come from one of those extra repos installed. Oh, sorry, search Docker Compose. So this is, yeah, I have no idea if this is new or old. Now it's groovy, so I guess it's not new. Or if it's like the Ubuntu one, I bet I can install something newer. First install Docker Engine for your OS, blah 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 blah, then come back here for instructions on installing Compose. Yeah, so I have already installed a bunch of Docker stuff.
Can you try running it? I copied and pasted it from a known good version.
Hold on. I think I just curled me some Compose. No idea if it worked.
Is it totally gone now?
My entire computer's just lost. No, it's, I might have to set execute previously. Let's see. YAML parser while parsing a block mapping in Docker Compose YAML. Expected block end but found block mapping start, line 24.
Can you clear the terminal and rerun that? VS Code is
it does
not happy.
sometimes doesn't do well with. But it's complaining about a block starness. Try removing the curlies from the volumes. Kyle Steger saying dashed volume names. Volumes tab isn't lined up. I think so. There was a space before volumes. Is that it?
I think there's another space there. There we go. Was it a copy pasta?
Oh gee, but
Oh jeez.
Sometimes I hate
See, this
computers.
This is why I don't like white space sensitive languages.
I have no problems with Python. It will tell you if you screwed up most of the time.
No, I've seen a bug where that I had to debug where it was in a loop, and one item was supposed to be in the loop as well, but it was tabbed out.
Christopher Cote says, YAML!
Alright.
And Kyle is saying, bailing you out again, Koutmos. I think you know this Kyle person. I don't know.
I do know this guy.
Yeah.
Alright, so...
Hey, Patar.
Alright, everything's running. Can you also share, or maybe you can navigate to localhost 9090?
Localhost.
Can I get there or no?
I can give you access to it, I believe.
Yeah, could
I
you do that?
believe. 9090. No, you don't need a display name. So you should have a new share. Did it prompt you? Otherwise, just go to localhost 9090.
No, it did not prompt me, but I do see it in the live share tab here. So
yeah, so you should be able to hit that entry and go to it.
Cool. All right, so you're screen sharing so people can see it for
Yep.
you, right? All right, so I'll just kind of walk through where I'm going. So you should get to the Prometheus dashboard
I'll
here.
drop
So
our
this is
cameras because they are covering a lot of this stuff and it's not helpful. All right.
okay. So if you look up at the top, you'll see the status drop down. Go to status and then click targets.
Status targets.
All right, and this list here should mirror what we put in that config file. So you'll see that the second one is localhost 9090/metrics, which is Prom itself, and the first one is our app. And given that we have a green up badge, we know that everything's running as expected.
Yeah.
Cool. So now, can you also share port 3000 with me?
You just want all my ports. You
want all
want
the
write
ports.
privileges in my terminal. It's the lad is mad with power. 3000 shared. I'm very glad that VS Code has this functionality.
Yeah, this is quite nice. All right, so if you go to port 3000 now, so you could share. If you type admin, given that that's what we set for the password.
Logged in.
Yep, and you could skip.
Oh right, I can.
You could skip setting a new password.
Nice.
So if you go on the left, you'll see those like 4 squares.
Yep.
So hover on that and click on manage.
No dashboards. None
We'll
at
see that
all.
we have no dashboards. Okay, so I'm going to do some configuration in Grafana, because I think telling you to do it for screen share might end badly here. Because I also need the creds as well. But just to walk people through it, so I'm going to go on the left-hand side.
You could hop out on switch over to screen sharing on the OBS Ninja thing.
Here, I'll skip that because I got stand up in 10 minutes.
Yeah. So,
all right. So on the left-hand side over here, on the there's that cog. You can click API keys, and I'm literally just gonna make one API key. I'm just gonna name it PromEx. I'm gonna give it a role of editor, and that's it. It's just 2 fields. So it's not too much.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna copy the API key that I got from there, and then back in VS Code, I'm gonna close out all of these YAMLs. Open up dev.exs again. Are you following my my
I'm
cursor?
following. there.
Okay, cool. So in this Grafana entry here, we're gonna set some stuff up. So our host is HTTP.
I don't know if this is a good thing, but David is saying this is so reassuring, smiley face, and it's like, yeah, I do make an effort to show people that no one knows what the heck they're doing, and even if they know what they're doing, they're still flailing wildly while they do it.
And I did all this last night, and we're still.
Yeah, but now you have me yammering. So. Dashboard.
Dashboards. All right.
Dashboards. That's about right.
All right. So what I did here was I told PromEx where it can find Grafana.
So it
what
can
the
shove
auth token
dashboards
is.
at it.
Exactly. What the auth token is. Now in production, you're obviously not going to stick your auth token in your EXS config files. So this would probably be coming from an environment.
I will probably not be committing that part.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Well, it's only applicable to your local Grafana instance, anyways. But I think GitHub will probably complain at you if its regex catches a auth token in your code.
Yeah.
And then you'll get like a shame banner up at the top of your repo.
Yeah.
But
time to restart.
We're telling PromEx to upload all the dashboards on start. We're telling it what folder to put them in, and then to also annotate the application lifecycle.
I saw some sign of PromEx going booga booga booga, so it seems like it did. Yeah, successfully uploaded a bunch of stuff.
Oh, let me go to your other terminal here.
So
VS Code is dying, by the way.
Computer is dying, probably.
It could be that too. Okay, I do see that as well. Okay, so that's a good sign. So PromEx has successfully uploaded all the dashboards. So now if you go back to Grafana, localhost 3000, and you go to the 4 squares and click on Manage.
Notes dashboards.
There you go. And now, since you're screen sharing, I guess you can just cycle through them. So if you go to Application Dashboard.
Failed to upgrade legacy queries data source named Prometheus was not found.
All right. My bad. Here, I have to add an additional data. I have to add the data source here in Grafana. I forgot a step. Here, I'll add it really quickly. No one will see. Save and test. All right. You should be able to refresh that dashboard now. It works.
Go back in.
Oof, it works.
Let's see. It works. Noted. Application uptime.
Yeah. So what happened there was
dependencies.
I forgot to tell Grafana where to actually get all this data from. Yeah. And so that's that. Remember that -d, 1 hour ago that we added to the terminal? That's what that was. I just forgot to tell Grafana how to get to Prometheus.
PromEx Beam dashboard. 467 processes. That's not bad. Ooh. Number of dirty CPU schedulers. Let's see.
Oh, you have a big machine here, 32 cores.
Yeah. So now I shrunk it a little bit so I can actually see some of the numbers.
Yeah, I did develop these dashboards on my 4K display, so I may have been a little.
Yeah, the issue here is just that I have a 50-50 split between the browser and the editor. Otherwise, it would do it nicely.
That'll do it. Yeah. I have a little bit of overflow on my MacBook Air on some of the dashboards, but for the most part, it looks good.
Kyle says this is awesome, and he'll be using it in his app soon.
Woo!
So. No, but this seems real good. Let's see. Ecto is one I'm curious about. We haven't really done anything that would trigger Ecto yet. So I will authenticate via Telegram a bit quickly here.
Yeah, you're probably seeing no data everywhere.
Yeah. There we go. Now I'm logged in. Hopefully, okay. I need to reset that browser because it keeps losing track. There we go. Back to logged in. And then I can sort of add add a file, can do an image upload. Sweet. Let's go back and see. So refresh. Not seeing any query execution times yet.
So it will take some time because
Yeah.
it's got to actually scrape it and persist it. So let's see if we give like 10 seconds and nothing's there, maybe we didn't actually hit any.
Take a look at Phoenix. Nothing yet. The last 1 hour is probably not the time frame I want. Nothing so far. Does PromEx provide stats from multiple Phoenix/web apps in an umbrella project? I have one main app and different web apps for particular subdomains/concerns, admin, etc.
Yes, yeah, you can. So those plugin entries in the PromEx module, you could have multiple entries of them. There's currently a bug with Ecto that I'm trying to work out though. So you could have multiple entries of say like Ecto, and tell it what repo you want it to observe. And then you could also
Actually,
upload multiple dashboards.
This was probably me, and I might have accidentally disabled all of the plugins except application and Beam, so that would make sense for why.
That'll do it. Yeah, I was like, yeah, because I'm not seeing any data on Phoenix either.
Yeah.
Yes, if you.
So if I add a few things in the app here.
Yeah, and then restart the app.
Yeah, I restarted it. So let's see. Give it a moment.
Yep, there it is. Yes, I see. So if you go to the Ecto one, you'll see a lot of kind of like your static configs up at the top.
Oh, there we go.
Your pool size, the database name, all that stuff. And then if you actually hover on any of those like time series panels, you'll see that dashed green line going up. If you hover on the little arrow at the bottom, it kind of gives you some information as to at the time that application was deployed.
Oh, okay.
What was the host name? If you have a git SHA and a git author configured, it could display that as well. So this is useful in a like a deployed environment, so you could see exactly what went out and when. And
operations per source, average query execution time.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess you could further slice this information any way you want, really. Build more dashboards or build specific ones for problem queries or.
Exactly. Yeah. So unfortunately, I have to run to
it's
stand
time
up
to
now.
shut down the stream. But
we're at the top of the hour anyways. But maybe we have a part 2 where we actually write our own PromEx plugin.
Yeah, that would be good.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. But seriously,
cool.
Thanks for coming on. This was
thanks for
a real good run through, and
thanks for having me on the live stream.
Happy to anytime. Yeah. So PromEx, as you can see, it does a lot of work for you. I would probably not be trying Grafana if it didn't, because this seems like a lot of effort setting these things up, like building the dashboards. I know that's annoying.
That was pain. That was a lot of work. That was a lot of pain, love, and work.
I don't think I'm muted. Someone's asking if I'm muted.
No, I can hear you.
Yeah. All right. Have a good stand up and a continued good morning, and I'll be heading into the weekend. Thank you very much. Take care.
Sounds good.
Talk to you on a podcast soon, I guess.
Yeah, I'll see you on Tuesday.
Thank you everyone for joining us, and you'll find the archive version on my site and here on the YouTube channel. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff, All right, take care.
Cool. Bye, everyone.
Bye.